All my life, I felt like no one really knows who I am. As a child in around 6th grade, I began to feel like I wasn't the real me around other people. In school, I started off with one girl. I'll call her Mary for the sake of the story. I had been friends with her for a year or two at the time. She was my only friend, but she would insult me. And the only thing I could do was laugh it off. "You're fat. You're ugly. You're dumb." I pretended like the insults didn't even cross my mind, but they stuck with me for a long, long time. And eventually I started saying those things to myself. I'd complain about my weight and talk about how much I hated my appearance. I was always so stressed out about my grades that I would stay up till 2 in the morning studying, and then wake up at 5 so I could study even more. But I became so tired in class that my grades would just worsen. When I'd complain about my weight or appearance to her, she just told me, "Well, of course you're fat, you never stop eating." Or, "Oh, well, now you finally acknowledge the problem." It was like showing an open stab wound to an enemy in battle. Eventually I stopped talking to her because she started becoming angry at me, saying that I was annoying or that I was mean. I moved on to a new friend group, the popular girls I suppose you could say at that time. I would have imagined I had moved on from the things Mary had said to me, but they kept playing on repeat like a broken voice inside my head that could only say the same things. The longer I was friends with the large group of girls, I noticed that she wasn't the only person insulting me. One girl, I'll call her Sasha, would always bring a snack for the other girls in the group, most often cookies. When she'd hand out the snacks and I'd ask for one, she'd say things like, "You don't need any more food," or "You already weigh enough, why do you need this?" Over time I stopped asking. When I'd wake up early in the morning and when the rest of my family was ready for school, I'd lie about eating breakfast, and I'd throw away my lunch every day. I'd eat half the amount of dinner I would usually, and I'd just say, "Oh, my friends gave me lots of extra snacks at lunch, so I'm not hungry." At night, instead of studying, I'd work out all night, and I'd only study for about 10 minutes every day, and my grades declined, and so did my weight. In about 2 or 3 weeks, I had lost about 50 pounds. My mom became scared and put me in the hospital after she realized I hadn't consumed any food in 4 days. But when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see the skeleton that I was, that had the jutting out ribs and hip bones that stood out like a sore thumb. But I saw an overweight kid with flabby arms and a stomach that stuck out 3 feet. I was in the hospital for a month. I promised to eat, and I did, but I didn't keep it in. My friends would look at me disgusted and I'd hear them say, "When was the last time Fatso ate?" Fatso was who I was and who I stayed. I still fight anorexia nervosa and I probably always will, but I'm better than I was. I'm still 50 pounds underweight, but I try and eat some days, and tomorrow I'm going into hospital. I hope that whoever sees this story won't go through what I'm going through, and that they learn from my mistakes and decide who should really be their friend.